Hi Cerwin Vega fans, and welcome to episode 5 part 3. This is the episode where we're gonna take a look at this, what I consider to be super rare, and we're getting really close to get into what I call ghosts, and what is like very rare. It's like almost, does it even exist, you know? It's getting quite interesting right now. And let's dive into it and look at some super rare models that I believe is super rare. Of course, this can change. I mean, some of this, what I call super rare today, might fall down and just become rare in a few months. It depends on what comes up for sale. But age, availability, and all this plays a role. And if it haven't been shown on the market for a while for sale, you know, that's how I base my categories on this. So let's just dive into it right away. Let's go down to the first model, which is the 432R. It was made in the 70s. Rather rare. You don't see these come up for sale. I haven't seen one for sale, and I've been monitoring Craigslist, eBay, US Audio Mart, Canadian Audio Mart, UK Audio Mart, you name it. I look at all the pages every freaking day. And I haven't seen one of these in 8-9 years, I think it is. The last one I saw for sale was, I think it was like 2009 or 2010 maybe, something like that. And so that makes it super rare. Go out and try and find one of these, and you will have a hard time. That's for sure. 432R. Big speaker. 18-inch in there. There's like 4 or 5 drivers in total. Maybe even 6. There's like 3 in the front. There's 1 down firing, 2 in the back. So you're looking at 6 drivers, I think, in this one. Pretty awesome and cool speaker, but super rare. We then go on to Metron and Cerwin model. This is a very rare model that Gene made. It didn't go under the Cerwin Vega name, but Metron to me is more or less the same as Cerwin Vega. Just made for a short period of time. I have not seen any one of these for sale in the last 10-12 years. I don't think I have ever seen it for sale. I saw it online once in a forum, and I think this dates all the way back to like 2002, 2003. It was part of an audio collection that I saw, and I think that's the only thing that I have seen of it online. So for sure, the Cerwin is a rare model. If you want to go out and buy this one, you're gonna have a problem, because they're hard to find. You can't find them unless you are really freaking lucky and dump over one. So that's one super rare model. Is it a ghost? No, because I have seen it out there, and some of the ghosts are, you know, never seen before. Some of the ghosts are seen before, but this one doesn't quite fall under the ghost yet, because, hey, you can find catalogs of it online, you can find pictures of it online, so it's not quite a ghost, but it's super rare. We then move on to the SR1, and SR1 is basically, the picture there is not really good. There's good. The SR1 is more or less a half SR2. It's the bottom part of an SR2, and it's used as a subwoofer for home use. You don't find a lot of these, but these are in private ownership, so these are around, but there's not many of them, so they're super rare. It's then just natural to jump into the SR2. This one over here to the right in the picture, right there. This is the SR2 where you have the bottom and the top. The SR1 that you saw earlier was just this bottom part here. SR2 is super rare. I know there's one in Nashville. There's a pair in Nashville at the Gibson location. And there's probably a few more. But I don't think there was made many of them. I don't think there was sold many of them because they were fairly expensive back in the day. If you want to go out, try and find a pair of SR2. I think you're shit out of luck on that one, guy. It's not even going to be. I don't think it's possible to find them unless you have someone desperately needing money that are sitting on a super rare collection. This is not something you can just look up on eBay or Craigslist or any other website that sells stuff. You won't find it there. You have to have the right connections to find these models. SR2, super rare. We then move on to 15T. Although I put it in super rare category, and although it's not a super rare as the SR2 and the SR1 and the other ones on there, it's still a very super rare model. You don't find the 15T too often. You don't see a lot of them come up for sale. Most of the time you see the TRs. So the 15T is a super rare model. In the last 10 years I've maybe seen 2-3 pairs for sale, maybe even longer period of time. So yeah, they're super rare. We then move on to model 313. I couldn't find a good picture of them. So 313 is a model that I've been looking for because I want the model 313. And I've been actively looking for it for sale for at least 5 years. And I haven't found one yet. All I have found was one time someone sold the drivers. They had pulled the drivers out of a cabinet that they said was damaged. And that's a year and a half ago. And that's all I have seen of the 313. So that's a super rare model. We then move on to M40. And M40 is the little brother of M80 and M100. And although you can find M80 and M100 for sale every now and then, not often, they're rare, but the M40, there is not a lot of M40 out there. I think they sold mostly M80s and M100s, and the M40s was probably sold in less quantity, and that reflects on the used market and the availability of another product to buy used. And it is so elusive that there's no pictures online of it. I have searched Bing, Google, Yahoo, everywhere to find pictures of M40, and I can't find any. So that tells you it is super rare. We then move on to the next model, which is the Vega 500 corner home from 1950s. This is a super rare model because it is old, and if the information that I sit on is correct, original, there was, I think it was 89 made at the most, and that's at the most. So that in itself makes it super rare. I have seen two, let me rephrase that. I've seen four models, four speakers, 2 pairs for sale since 1998, and this here was the last one I saw. This one was on Craigslist in California. About 8 months ago, 6 to 8 months ago, I saw this one for sale. And then there was one on YouTube, a video that was also for sale. But those are the only two pairs that I have seen since internet started, and that was in 97, 98. So that makes it super rare. And we then move on to the W10. It barely snuck in on the super rare, just because that over the last 4 to 5 years there haven't been many models for sale. It is like a borderline rare, super rare model. It just entered the list. It can be found, but I haven't seen many lately. In the last 2 years I haven't seen many of them. They used to be for sale quite often. 10 years ago I saw like a handful of models for sale every now and then in the early 2000s, but lately you don't find a lot of them. But you can find, and here's the thing that makes things super rare and rare. If you go on to eBay and you look at people who sell drivers and parts, you can see that they say pulled from a car cabinet, working cabinet. And every time someone pulls drivers out of a cabinet, that is one pair less to find in original condition. And that has also a part in this, what makes it rare and super rare. So W10 for sure just entered the list as super rare. We then move on to W12 the Big Brother. I couldn't find any good pictures of those. Same with that one. It's like a borderline thing, just snuck in on super rare. Then we go to V8. V8 is the same thing. It's been super rare for a long time. This is my pair. I bought these 3-4 months ago, and I've been looking for those for a long time, and I finally found them on eBay. And when you look for something over a period of 5 to 6 years and you only see them twice, that makes them super rare. And that goes for the Big Brother V10. I have been looking for those. I have one pair on my hand right now that I'm talking to the seller, but nothing is a done deal. But same with them. I've been looking for them for many years. I only seen them once or twice over a period of 5 to 6, 7 years, and I see there's one pair for sale online now that I have found. So it makes them super rare. And then the V10A, same. I have no picture for that one. V12 is the big brother of V10 and V8. V12 is, I didn't have a picture for that, but it's the same look as the V10 and V8, but bigger and with a 12-inch woofer. V8 and V10 is more common than the V12. The V12 is elusive. You can't find any pictures. You can't find any information out there. And I mean, I have been trolling and looking around all kind of forums and websites and all kinds of stuff. Old Cerwin Vega brochures. And I can't find much on the V12. So that makes it super rare. We then go to the next model, which is the UT12R. Super rare? Yes. Has it been rare for many years? Yes. It's just in the last year and a half, this one really became super rare. Early 2000s, I saw like 4 or 5, 6 pairs for sale, and I even thought about importing all those to Norway at one point, but the seller changed his mind in the last minute. He didn't want to ship them and stuff like that. So after that deal went down the drain, I've been looking for them, and I haven't been able to find any for sale. And I think there was 1 pair or 2 pairs for sale in Denmark over the period of last 5, 6, 7, 8 9 years maybe. And I have seen maybe one pair for sale in the United States, but they were so worn out and in such a bad condition that you might as well just pull the driver out of them and get rid of the cabinets. So the UT12R is for sure a super rare model right now. Unless some more models surfaces and come up for sale, it's gonna stay super rare. But like I said, these lists can change, and some models become more available, and some gets more rare, and so things changes. This is not a set list for the future. It all depends on what comes up for sale at any given point and every given time. So we then move on to the last model on super rare, and the only reason I added this one to the super rare is because I know there's not a lot of them out there. I have lately seen 2 pairs for sale, and this is one pair I'm now talking to the seller about maybe getting. But for me, it's a 10.5-hour drive, and with my health condition right now, it's a little bit, should I go or should I not go? I'm kind of depending on my wife driving me. So it depends on if I can get him or not. But I had one of these pairs, the SPL12. I bought them from Cerwin, Vega, Europe, back in 2003, I think it was, because they had been shipped to Europe as a mistake. They were not supposed to be sold in Europe. They were only supposed to be sold in the United States. And what this SPL12 is, it's a surplus model. And that means they took a lot of drivers that they had leftovers, because this was right before Cerwin Vega went to sale and sold off to Stanton. This was like 2001, 2002, and they had taken a lot of drivers that they had laying in stock, and they said, we have to get rid of this. We have to make room for more. We have to get some cash flow in. And they took the drivers that they had. I know, I'd never opened it up when I got it, so I never took the drivers out. I can tell you for certainty that it's an AT15 tweeter. I'm not going to speculate in what kind of drivers these are, but you know, take a look at the drivers that Cerwin Vega made with black foam on the woofers, and you have a few models to pick from. This was made, I mean, if you compare, and here's the thing, super rare, what makes it super rare? I talked about that in the other video. This model is because if you compare this one, take this model here, and you compare it to the D series that's sold in hundreds of thousands of units, and the AT series that's sold in hundreds of thousands of units. The same with a lot of the other models. This one was not manufactured and produced in that quantity, mass quantity as the other models. Michael at the European office for Cerwin Vega speculated at one point that they maybe made somewhere around 100 pairs in total, because that was what they had left in stock of drivers. So somewhere between, realistically, somewhere between 20 and 100 pairs was made. One of these pairs is in Norway. I sold them, I imported them, and I took them into Norway. They were in my possession for about 8 months, 8 months. And I sold them off. So there's one pair in Norway, and if that doesn't make it super rare over there, I don't know. There's not many pairs of these in the United States either, and I only seen 2 of them come for sale since 2003 when I sold mine. So that makes them super rare, although they're not old, but they're super rare. And that was the list for super rare, and let me tell you, next video will be about the ghosts. And I got a confirmation yesterday that the information is on the truck with USPS. As soon as I get that information in my hand, I will start to take pictures, scan documents, and get everything and all the information that I need to make the list. I have some products down here already, So don't you worry. There's some products down here. Right now, there's 4 or 5 of them down there. And but it's all about the documentation. It's all about the information. I don't want to put anything out there before I have proof of what I'm talking about. I don't want to speculate on when it comes to models. We can speculate about what happens in the surroundings and what happened to the products, but I don't want to speculate on the product itself. I want the ironclad proof of what I'm talking about. So, next video, is the ghost. And I can guarantee you will like the next video. It will come out probably next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. USPS said that I will have my information in about 2 to 5 days from yesterday. So that means I maybe can receive the information on Saturday. I don't make videos on the weekend. I spend my weekend with my wife and my dogs. So Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday next week will be the time to release the ghost.